Right now, the August primary is here. We're live at the polls with a breakdown of what's on today's ballot. Also, vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance schedules a trip back to Wisconsin, where he plans to be for his next campaign stop in the Badger State. And later, we'll introduce you to a newspaper cartoonist, why he says we're sitting on a gold mine of material. Welcome to News 3 Now at 6. It is primary day here in Wisconsin as people head to the polls to cast their primary votes. And with this being a primary, voters will have to request a Democratic or Republican ballot. However, both the Dane County executive race and the state referendum questions will be on both ballots. We have team coverage out in the field for tonight's primary. Let's head to our political reporter, Will Keneally, for a look at some of the big races. Will?
Yeah, Eric, so for viewers at home who have not voted yet, you still have time. Polls will be open in Wisconsin until 8 p.m. As long as you're in line, you will still be able to vote. But let's break down that ballot that you'll see later tonight. We have those two really interesting constitutional referendum questions on our ballot. They deal with money and politics, essentially. So it harkens back to the pandemic when Wisconsin received a bunch of federal money that the Democratic governor was able to spend on his own. So now the Republican legislature has put forward these amendments to try and reclaim some of that power. That first question that you'll see on your ballot asks whether the legislature needs to sign off on any state spending. We also have a second question dealing specifically with federal funds. Does the governor need to get legislative approval for federal funds coming into Wisconsin? Now, a couple of local races to keep our eye on as well. There's a four-way primary for Dane County Executive. Now, after tonight, that four-way race will be narrowed down to two. Running in that race right now is Melissa Agard, Dana Pelibon, Wes Sparkman, and Regina Vittiver. We'll also keep an eye on the Eastern Dane County State Senate race. That's left vacant by Melissa Agard there, running for Dane County Executive. Three known faces in that race, all from the State Assembly: Jimmy Anderson, Samba Balde, and Melissa Radcliffe. Now, we'll continue to have live on-the-ground coverage throughout the night here as we report on News 3 Now. But for talking about the turnout here, we bring in our Meryl Hubbard. It's been a steady turnout so far. What have we seen today?
Yeah, well, we are at one of over 100 polling locations in Madison, and we've seen a really steady stream of people coming in and out today. And of course, that means that most people are walking out with their I voted sticker. The purpose of the primary election is to narrow down the candidates for the November election. The city clerk's office says it looks like there's a relatively high voter turnout today compared to most August elections. Some of what can be driving this is the state referendum questions. There were more than 23,000 absentee ballots returned to the clerk's office as of Monday evening, and the city clerks say that they expect even more people to vote in person.
Absentee numbers did seem high for an August primary, and that would indicate that we'd expect a decent turnout today.
I voted today because it's part of the democratic process. I mean, it's something they've been doing for hundreds of years. People died for it, and so I'm just not going to not vote. It's as easy as that.
At 5 p.m. today, the clerk's office says that voter turnout is at 25%, where in 2022, the August primary had a total of 36% turnout when all was said and done. You still have about 2 more hours to get out and vote. If you are looking for your polling place, you can visit myvote.wi.gov. Reporting live in the west side of Madison, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
All right, Meryl and Will, thanks to both of you. There are a number of congressional primaries we're following today in the 2nd Congressional District. That's right here in Madison. 2 Republican candidates, Eric Olson, Charity Berry, are vying to face incumbent Mark Pocan in November. The 3rd Congressional District, that's southwestern Wisconsin. 3 Democrats on the ballot: Katrina Shanklin, Rebecca Cook, Eric Wilson. The winner will face incumbent Derek Van Orden. And Wisconsin's 8th District, up in northeastern Wisconsin, 3 Republicans running to carry out the remainder of former Congressman Mike Gallagher's term in a special election here. The candidates are Andre Jacques, Tony Weed, and Roger Roth. Meanwhile, U.S. Senate candidate Eric Hovde went to the polls in Madison today to cast his ballot. According to a recent Marquette Law School poll, Hovde is currently trailing incumbent Senator Tammy Baldwin among registered voters by some 7 points. But Hovde says he is not concerned.
As it pertains to the polls, I'm not getting caught up in the polls at all. So many of these polls are totally manipulated. Putting weight on polls, particularly at this point in time, really, it's a waste of time.
Well, Hovde is the leading Republican candidate in the race. He has raised a total of $16.3 million, $13 million of which is self-funded. Meanwhile, Senator Baldwin celebrating a nearly $50 million federal grant that's part of a tech hub designation for Wisconsin. The senator made the announcement today at Accuray, that's in the research park on Madison's near west side. The state, one of just 12 hubs selected out of 192 initial applications as the biotech sector in Wisconsin continues to expand and innovate.
Wisconsin's Tech Hub designation and the $49 million investment will impact Wisconsin patients, Wisconsin workers, and our Wisconsin economy.
The goal of the Tech Hub is to make the state a global leader in personalized medicine, a healthcare approach that uses a patient's genetic sequence, medical record, and environment for more efficient diagnostics and treatment. The state received that designation from the Biden administration back in October. Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance heading back to Wisconsin this week. The Trump campaign announcing today Senator Vance will deliver remarks in Milwaukee on Friday. That event will take place at the Milwaukee Police Association. Doors will open at 8 with Senator Vance delivering remarks at 11 a.m. There he will talk about crime and opioid deaths. Last week, Senator Vance was up in Eau Claire for a campaign event. You'll recall at the same time as Vice President Kamala Harris. Let's check the first warn forecast now. Here's Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington out on the patio. Alex.
Hey, Eric. Hey, southern Wisconsin. Temperatures cooling down a bit as the sun starts to get lower on the horizon. Beautiful out here on the patio. A wonderful August day. But the wonderful mode is only going to stick around for 24 more hours because we do have alert day conditions that we're expecting to unfold Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. I mentioned last night that this could be a distinct possibility, and I'll explain more in Maine weather. What ingredient is at play or needs to be at play on Thursday for severe weather? 83 in Madison, so we made it to where we thought we would make it for a high temperature. That dew point is up there now at 60 degrees. Touch of humidity out there. 83 again in Madison, 82s and 83s, even an 84 to the north up towards DeForest and Wanakee. So we've seen our temperatures peak across southern Wisconsin. Got 83s in the Wisconsin River Valley, 81 to the north up towards Camp Douglas, and 77 to the south down near Janesville. So a warm, typical August evening, and temperatures will be typical for this time of year for a low temperature to start things off as we go into Wednesday morning at 60. Can't rule out some patchy fog, just like we forecasted last night, and we saw some patchy fog in some of our low-lying areas. Coming up in Maine weather, we're going to track the next weather system and the potential for alert day conditions and talk about that prime time for the potential of severe weather that's on our doorstep come Thursday.
All right, Alex, thank you. A man is in custody after police say they found a stolen gun inside a vehicle. Police say around 2:30 in the morning, the man was reportedly speeding on East Washington Avenue. Officers conducted a traffic stop and detained the man. They say they found marijuana inside that vehicle as well. The man was arrested for being a felon in possession of a firearm and receiving stolen property. Demolition operations at an Eastside metal recycling facility were interrupted due to a fire. The Madison Fire Department responding to the 4400 block of Sycamore Avenue for a reported structure fire in an outbuilding separate from the main recycling building there. Firefighters saw the majority of the fire. And they say it was located on the hydraulic lines, which exited the pump room and ran to the shearing machine. The fire was caused by demolition workers using torches during cutting operations. No injuries were reported. Well, here's your reminder once again to help us help students in Dane County, teaming up with the Boys and Girls Club for our annual back-to-school drive to make sure every child has what they need for the new school year. And you can help by dropping off folders, backpacks, pencils, pens, or other supplies at any Boys and Girls Club of Dane County location. You can also make a monetary donation. All the information you need to know to help is up at channel3000.com. That drive ends on Friday, so make sure to donate by then. This year's Wisconsin State Fair is all wrapped up now, and it was a record breaker. Fair officials announcing 1,136,805 people visited the annual event. That beats the previous record set back in 2019 by more than 6,000. About 352,000 original cream puffs were served, with an additional 21,000 specialty flavored ones sold as well. State Fair officials say they are already busy preparing for the 2025 State Fair. And coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, why multiple car companies are warning consumers to immediately stop driving their older vehicles. We'll tell you which ones are affected here. Plus, it's a major cause of death and disability in the U.S., traumatic brain injuries, how a new test is helping doctors check brain health more quickly.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
After a serious truck crash, you need a team who knows how to handle trucking cases and gets results. You need Gruber Law Offices. There's never a fee until we win. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Let the design team at Wanakee Furniture ETC help you find your inspiration and transform your room. Every style, every budget, our creativity, passion, and expertise will help you design your dream space.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC. I have no idea what I'm doing. My dad has Parkinson's and we need more support. That's why I connected with a Grace. Now I have a partner to help me understand what to expect. Choose more support and less stress with a Grace. Authentic care and connection.
Get an 11% rebate on your next painting project at Menards. DuraClean Exterior Paint is a paint and primer in one that's formulated to resist dirt, weather, and fading. Starting at $34.48 per gallon after rebate. Maximize your curb appeal with Max Bond Plus Exterior Paint. It provides max adhesion, height, and performance. With over 800 one-coat colors, it's designed to work for you. A gallon starts at $47.87 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Certain this is gonna work?
Nothing to it.
For imprint certain?
Certainty matters. 4imprint is your home for promo gear to wow clients and inspire your team. Check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Let the design team at Wanakee Furniture ETC turn your design dreams into reality. With customized solutions and quality products, our passion and expertise will help turn your room into a dream space.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
News 3 Now brings you team coverage from the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. We'll talk to delegates about the issues that matter right here in Wisconsin. Campaign 2024 DNC coverage live from Chicago, starting Monday on News 3 Now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. Ford and Mazda are warning the owners of more than 475,000 older vehicles in the United States not to drive them because they have dangerous Takata airbag inflators that have not been replaced. That warning covers more than 374,000 Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury vehicles from 2004 to 2014 model years, and it also covers nearly 83,000 Mazdas between 2003 and 2015 model years. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says those inflators can explode and shoot metal fragments that can injure or kill people. Ford and Mazda are offering free towing or mobile repairs and loaner vehicles if necessary. According to the Brain Trauma Foundation, about 2.5 million people go to emergency rooms for traumatic brain injuries every year, and experts say every second counts when it comes to the treatment. And a new non-invasive test is helping doctors check brain health more quickly. It is a new rapid blood test, and that measures specific proteins associated with a traumatic brain injury. Dr. Linda Papa with Orlando Health says if the protein levels are high, a doctor can take action very quickly. If the levels are low, a CAT scan may be unnecessary. And the best part is the test provides results in just 15 minutes.
It gives us information that we never had before. And I think this is really going to revolutionize care.
Right now, the test is only available for adults, but research is happening right now to study the blood test in children, and the doctor says they hope to have it cleared for pediatric use in the emergency room in the next couple of years. Still ahead, high-level golf will soon return to Whistling Straits. We'll tell you about it. Plus, we hear from a newspaper cartoonist on what it's like working during an election year. Storm chances increase later in the week. Alex rejoins us. A complete look at his forecast next.
A1 Furniture and Mattress is closing their giant showroom, and that means the best prices ever. Everything must go. Over $1 million in inventory must be sold. Name brands at huge discounts for every room. Store closing sale on now at A1 Furniture and Mattress.
One size rarely fits all. That's why at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we carry a huge selection of quality name brand jeans and pants. We're so confident we have the right brand, style, and fit for you that we'll give you a free $5 Blaine's Farm and Fleet gift card for every pair you buy. Like men's or women's Ariat jeans. Get an extra $30 gift card for every $150 Ariat purchase. And men's Rustler jeans, just $15.99. Find your perfect pair of jeans for less at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Kamala Harris has taken on gang members to get justice for victims, taken on big banks to pay back people they ripped off, taken on drug companies to cap insulin at $35. Now she's running to take on greedy corporations who jack up prices to lower everyday costs for working families. They're spending millions on ads attacking her because she'd be a president who fights for you. FF PAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
This
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face. And what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes. And I did this to my father. We were at home, so we applied it to his under eye bags, and let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view, and now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work after your first application. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
A1 Furniture and Mattress is closing their giant showroom, and that means the best prices ever. Everything must go. Over $1 million in inventory must be sold. Name brands at huge discounts for every room. Store closing sale on now at A1 Furniture and Mattress.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6. Moving forward.
We have all seen the cartoons hidden within the pages of the newspaper, and while they use fewer words than the articles on the front page, they can tell just as much of a story. Our Maddie Heimsch has more on one of those storytellers right here in Madison. Maddie?
Yeah, Eric, Phil Hands is the editorial cartoonist for the Wisconsin State Journal. That means he's part journalist, part artist, and part comic. And a year of unprecedented political moves and historic firsts, well, that means he's never starving for ideas.
I feel like sometimes my cartoons can't compete with what politicians actually say nowadays, which is wild. Some of it you can't exaggerate it. It's already a caricature of itself.
They say fact is stranger than fiction. And as a cartoonist, that's exactly the way Phil Hands likes it.
There's always something going on. There's always somebody saying something outlandish or outrageous, because that's the politics we live in nowadays.
And while most reporters put those outlandish statements into headlines, Hands squeezes them into speech bubbles.
How do I add this pop culture element to talk about this deep political issue? Or how do I add something lighthearted to talk about this weighty issue?
Next time you see a Phil Hands original, look for a fish mug in Tony Evers' hands, a nod to the governor's holy mackerel catchphrase, or Donald Trump's comically small fists, referring to his 2016 spat with Marco Rubio about the size of his hands. It's those little details that he hopes can bring some much-needed humor to an increasingly volatile political landscape.
Taking respectable politicians and making them look buffoonish, and nowadays our politicians, are pretty wild and crazy as they are. My job is to sort of have fun with it. Don Old. It's so unique and so special.
And while there's a gold mine of content on the national stage this year, Hands has always preferred punchlines that land here in Wisconsin.
And then, that's one of those ones where gets the Madison people all riled up.
Getting people riled up is one of Hans's favorite parts of the job.
When you see a cartoon, you're like, oh, that's what Phil thinks about that issue. Not necessarily that's the truth. That's what I think about it. It's very much part of an opinion piece.
Good, bad, and angry feedback proudly thumbtacked to the walls around his desk.
Even though I think it's not as respected as it used to be, I think it's having its best moment right now ever in the history of the genre.
If you want to try your hand at political cartooning, Hands hosts a caption contest in the Wisconsin State Journal every week.
Maddie, thank you. Plenty of material for him this year. The temperatures staying near average. Alex rejoins us, his complete forecast.
We've returned back to August values after that little cool spell that we had over the weekend. We'll stay August-like through Wednesday, temperature-wise and dry. And with August, we can sometimes get severe weather in August. In fact, some of our greatest severe weather has occurred in the month of August. And we're looking at the potential now for alert day conditions Thursday afternoon and evening. And I'll explain one ingredient that is going to be the wild card in that alert day set of potential conditions on Thursday. Behind that weather system, we will turn breezy behind that area of low pressure. Right now, gorgeous night tonight expected in Madison, and this will play out across much of southern Wisconsin. 80s and then dipping down to about 60 for a low temperature. Don't be surprised to see a little bit of patchy fog, just like what we saw yesterday, or this morning rather, in the Wisconsin River Valley as an example. Just that perfect setup as the temperatures fall down to that dew point. Plenty of moisture near the ground still. Calm winds, clear skies, that's the recipe for a little patchy fog. Gorgeous out there right now. 83, we were going to go for a high of 83 today. We did it on the forecast there, so right on the nose. 83 in Madison, 82 in Oregon, 82 in Verona, 83 to the west in Cross Plains. So warm evening, light winds out there, just a touch on the warm side, but again, it's August, right? 83 in Boscoville, 80 in the Dells, 80 in Monroe, and cool spot, 77 right now in Janesville. I'm sure folks are enjoying things at 77 in Janesville too. Not so much to enjoy as we go on into Thursday. This is a period where we're going to have to keep a real close eye on. Last night I said if we could get a little bit of heating on Thursday, that's that ingredient that we need for the potential for severe thunderstorms. And that very well may play out now as it looks like on Thursday. Our latest weather models continuing to show increasing chances of severe weather. Now we have a marginal risk of severe weather for much of southern Wisconsin and a 2 out of 5 risk for areas near Madison, Monroe, over towards Darlington, Janesville, Beloit, and over towards Elkhorn. Not going to be surprised to see this slight risk move more towards the north, depending on how these conditions play out. Future Track, I think, is going to do a great job here explaining what's going to occur. 60 to start off, a little patchy fog. We get into the low to mid 80s, another warm Wednesday. The shower and storm chances Wednesday afternoon and early evening, I think, are going to really hold off till we get into the Thursday morning time frame. 4, 5, 6 o'clock, a bank of showers and thunderstorms. Round one, not expecting those to be severe, moves through. Here is that time frame. Late morning, early to mid-afternoon hours where we have winds coming out of the south, cold front approaching the Mississippi River. That allows us to warm up, destabilize, bringing us that threat of thunderstorms. Some could be severe. Wind and hail are the primary threats, but we can't rule out an isolated tornado or two. Bottom line with those storms for Thursday, we need those storms to clear out Thursday morning. My rule of thumb is they have to be out of here by noon. Heating can build up, and that brings us the severe possibility later Thursday afternoon and evening. Breezy behind that weather system, then temperatures staying where they should be for this time of year, upper 70s to right around 80, with on and off slight shower and storm chances through the 10-day forecast.
Alex, thank you. Whistling Straits near Kohler has been chosen as the site to host 3 future USGA championships. First up, the 2028 U.S. Amateur, followed by the 2033 Junior Amateur and the 2037 U.S. Girls Junior. Whistling Straits has hosted 4 majors, 1 Ryder Cup. Meanwhile, Erin Hills outside Milwaukee will host the 2025 U.S. Women's Open in Hartford. To date, there have been 17 USGA championships contested on Wisconsin soil.
And coming up in sports, home sweet home. While the Badgers say being back practicing at Camp Randall is just good for the soul. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Look, here's a phone company who wants us to use our phones less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way.
Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
It's a free ride.
But I already paid.
Nobody wants to put a new roof over their head. It's too expensive. And if they can extend the life of that roof and get 5 more years or 10 more years, it's a no-brainer.
What RoofMax does is it helps people in that they don't have to spend that $15,000, $20,000 on a new roof. They can spend pennies on the dollar.
The RoofMax product was a small percentage of cost of replacing a roof.
This is a great financial decision for us as a community.
Stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes to an hour. I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of PowerSwabs. When I met Dr. Ginniker and he introduced me to PowerSwabs and I saw how effective they were and how easy they were to use, I knew we had to share it with the world. PowerSwabs was clinically studied to whiten natural teeth as well as stain caps, crowns, and veneers. It's so effective, it works on stains caused by coffee, tea, red wine, and even smoking. For those of you who have that one stained tooth, PowerSwabs can target that area using swab precision.
The first time I tried it, I was so surprised. My husband was so excited that he wanted to run out and get it. And he said, I can't believe how white your teeth are. From that point on, I've been sold.
Order PowerSwabs and receive up to 50% off the retail price. And as an added bonus, get a free quick stick pen with your order. Dial the number on your screen or visit powerswabs.com today.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
I'm the proud son of a single mom.
My mom worked nights to provide for us.
My mom worked 80 hours a week.
But Eric Hovde thinks if you have a single mom, you're going to be poor or a drug addict?
That is a direct path to a life of poverty. It leads to higher drug rates.
That just shows Eric Hovde is ignorant.
Come on, I'm successful today because of my mom.
I learned my work ethic from my mom, my single mom.
What is wrong with this guy?
Our phones were made to help us connect, and somehow they've made us less connected.
Which is ironic, don't you think?
Oh, I love this song so much. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
For the first time in 2 weeks, Wisconsin football is back at Camp Randall. The Badgers spent the last 14 days eating, sleeping, and breathing football, and only football at UW-Platteville. It was a bonding experience for this group to help build up the chemistry they'll need throughout the season. But now that they're back in Madison, and with just 17 days left until they kick off week 1, you could say it feels good to be home.
Those 2 weeks in Platteville were long, but I mean they were well needed for this team to get us focused in on the season.
I enjoyed Platteville. Super grateful that they let us come out there and use their facilities. Food's great. It's a little bit more convenient just because everything's so close. But it is good to be home. It's good to be back in our stadium, back on our home turf, and finishing this stretch out and
The Packers are on the road again Sunday for their second game of the preseason, but Green Bay will head to Denver a little earlier than normal. On Friday, the two teams will host a joint practice, and it will not only be a good measuring stick for the starters to see where they're at because they're on the field during the preseason is limited, but it's always good to see a different colored jersey.
I think it's good. Like I said, just be able to see somebody new, practice against a new team, and kind of that practice atmosphere where you get to see a lot more, and then you get to go back and break it down on film. So it's good to just be able to see new looks. We've been going against our defense every day, so just be able to get a new feel on defense is always good.
I swear this station isn't a Cal Fisher Stan account, but the Deerfield native can flat out play, and last night was no different. In a must-win game to keep their season alive, Fisher drove in 5 of the 8 total runs for the Mallards, and that's not including the run he scored. And that performance earned him, excuse me, the Northwoods League Position Player of the Night honors. Remember, first pitch for their winner-take-all Game 3 is set for 6:35. And the Big Ten women's preseason poll is out, and Wisconsin's picked to finish 6th in the conference. The Badgers are coming off a 3rd-place finish last year and open up this year ranked 19th. They kick off their season Thursday in Utah against 3rd-ranked BYU.
6 is pretty good now in the Big Ten with so many teams in the conference. Final check of the forecast, Alex.
Final check. Alert day conditions after a nice Wednesday. All eyes should be on a Thursday for potential for severe weather by the evening.
All right, Alex, thank you. Thanks for joining us at 6, folks. All your election results coming your way tonight. Join us for News 3 Now at 10.